Show me.
Hello, everybody. Marcel's Film Freak here. It has been a while since we have done any tier lists, so I figured may as well jump in with one that seems pretty heavy and just tier rank different martial art styles and movies, something that seems kind of complicated and pretty deep, and I'm going to need some help. So as always, I go to the MC of the Food for Thought podcast, Sean. Sean, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you, buddy?
I am getting along well.
Awesome, awesome.
How are you feeling towards like being able to, I guess, think deeply about your opinion of different styles in movies?
Okay, so I have a question before we jump into them.
Yeah.
Are we looking at it? And this is styles within movies, right? Just within movies.
Right.
Okay, then am I looking at it as in how those styles have been represented over the years, or am I looking at it if someone said we're making a brand new film with this style in it? So, because some styles are done to death, right?
I want you to come from every angle because this was
Got it.
sort of inspired by you because I have
Okay.
heard your opinion. I have heard your opinion on a handful of styles and
Gotcha.
you being done with them or wanting more of them.
Yep.
So that's one thing that sort of inspired this. So come at it from there. Come at it from, is it exciting to see? Whatever you got, throw it
Gotcha.
out there.
Gotcha. I
Yeah.
can do that.
So let's go ahead and jump into tier ranking different styles in movies.
Awesome.
Let's go ahead and jump into this. We have got from the top to the bottom here, jaw dropping, entertaining, nice, all right, and no thank you.
All
So
right.
looking at this list here, how are you feeling about it?
Um, ah, it's gonna be interesting. I think they're gonna be more on the higher end of the scale than on the lower end of the scale.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see.
I'm gonna drop us right here. All right. So this is gonna start out with one that I feel like I know your opinion on. I've written down a couple of examples for each of these on my phone here. We are starting with Muay Thai. What are your thoughts on Muay Thai in film?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Muay Thai had a couple of years where it was, the absolute bee's knees. We all fell in love with it. We thought it was the best thing we've ever seen to
Mhm.
come out of action cinema in so long. These days, I'm done. I'm done
Right.
with Muay Thai simply because I don't think anyone can add anything fresh to it anymore. It seems like everything has been done to death, and Tony Jaa did it, and obviously a few people carried that torch. But I just don't. Even when we saw it in Ip Man 3, even
Right.
then it felt tired, and I'd had enough
Against
of it.
what was that? Was that Simon Cook?
It was, I believe so. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So this is an interesting one because at the time it was magical and it was the best
Mhm.
thing we've ever seen. These days, not so much, in my opinion.
Do you think that has anything to do with the passing of the late Panaridicry?
Yeah, to an extent, I think so. But even then, his later films weren't
Like
quite as good as this.
Vengeance Assassin or whatever, Vengeance of an Assassin.
Yeah, Adventures of an Assassin was it's fine, don't get me wrong. And I think he was dabbling with other styles. I think there's a good kung fu fight in that, if I remember correctly. Same with Bangkok Knockout as
Mm-hmm.
well. That has a decent kung fu fight in it. So I'd like the idea that Pana was kind of dipping his toes into various other martial arts. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think he kept it fresh, he kept it interesting, and he combined Muay Thai with all the stunt work, which
Mm-hmm.
really made it something. And then
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Tony Jaa, I believe, directed at least some of Ong
Two
Bak
and
2.
two and three, and then he had like a psychotic breakdown, I think.
Yeah, and he did a great job, and he kept it fresh, like the only way Tony Jaa can. But after that, I think it just fell by the wayside and just lost its way. I just don't think anyone could do anything fresh with it anymore.
I still get excited when I get to see Tony Jaa throw down with some proper Muay Thai, like in like triple threat or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not been a lot of nice shiny Muay Thai in quite a while. Even thinking of like I don't know if you've seen the movie yet, Foggy Mountain on Haya.
Not yet. I actually, funny enough, I was this close to watching it today, but I started
Mhm.
watching that Vincent Zhao TV series instead, Fearless, whatever, Fearless Hero. I watched that
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, so Simon Cook is in that, and even in there, and that movie's Vietnamese.
Mhm.
There's not a lot in that movie that really got me too excited, and I enjoy Simon Cook quite a bit. But yeah, I don't fully disagree, or don't fully disagree with you there. I like it when it's good,
Yeah.
but in the past almost decade, I guess since 2011, I don't suppose it's been very good. Uh,
No.
do you think nice, entertaining, all right? Somewhere it's one of those middle ones, of course.
Yeah, to be honest, I would say entertaining. In its heyday,
Entertaining.
it was amazing. It blew everyone away when it first,
Mhm.
touched ground. But
It like
yeah.
it announced, like, or at least like Ong Bak made Muay Thai explode.
Oh, 100%. And even Panna's like earlier work had Muay Thai in it, and you can go
Mhm.
back to those and visit them. But
Yeah,
yeah, Ong Bak just blew it up.
I'm down with entertaining. Not quite jaw dropping as it was in the early 2000s, but still quite good.
Agree.
This next one here is I've got a picture here of Hao Rong and Bake from Tekken, because I'm a Tekken boy,
Hmm.
and that is Taekwondo. Something that a style that I think lends itself well to film because it's just so flashy.
I agree absolutely. I think Taekwondo itself often doesn't shine in movies, but Taekwondo practitioners often
Mhm.
shine in movies, especially in the old school where you have I think John Liu was Taekwondo,
Mhm.
Dorian Tan Tao Liang was Taekwondo. Was Huang Zhang Li Taekwondo as well?
I don't know
I think
about Huang
so.
Jiang Li. I thought Huang Ying Sik was, but Huang Ying Sik was Hapkido.
Was Hapkido, yes. I think maybe Huang Zhang Li was Taekwondo as well.
Yeah, I know.
But I
Like, I think of like Scott Adkins now. Like, Scott Adkins is very Taekwondo. I guess for if you had to lean towards somebody for modern movies, it's Scott Adkins.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. But unfortunately, the one Taekwondo movie that they actually made, The Kick, wasn't all that great.
You are correct. I've got that somewhere over here. Yep, it's not very good.
It's not. It has a few good moments, but unfortunately, with
The
that
kick.
style of Taekwondo, it's too it's too staged, right? They plan all
Mhm.
the kicks and all the tricking, and it looks way too staged. Um, so
What
yeah,
about
this
what
is
was Bangkok Adrenaline? Is Daniel O'Brien a Taekwondo guy?
that's a good question. I couldn't tell you.
I
I
know he's
honestly
definitely
couldn't
a
tell
tricker.
you.
If you watch that movie, he's totally a tricker, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Some of it is tricking, some of it is taekwondo. Yeah, and it has a lot of crossover when it comes to the tricking component,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure exactly who started in what style. Um, yeah, so Taekwondo is an interesting one because I do find that it definitely has a pleasing aesthetic to it, especially in the old school when you had the great kickers just doing their thing. Casanova won as well. I think he was Taekwondo,
He's
and
got
he
some
was
good kicks.
yeah, he was amazing. So I have a soft spot for it in terms of the old school because for me, the aesthetic of old school kickers just do it for me. Huang Zhang possibly my favorite kung
Mhm.
fu actor of all time. Um, but modern day, I think it gave birth to some great people like Scott Adkins,
Mhm.
but you don't necessarily see it on the screen anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of, and I feel like probably a lot of the best modern Taekwondo guys are like on YouTube, and really, I just kind of go to like Ginger Ninja Trickster for stuff like that.
Right,
Um,
right.
and I will say this, it doesn't count as a movie, but I will watch on YouTube like an entire like world class team Taekwondo demonstration because those things are amazing.
Yeah, they're nuts, and sadly, that doesn't work in movies. It just doesn't
Hmm.
translate well. Just like I said,
Right.
it's too staged. It's too the setup is too blatant. for
Mhm.
the kicks. So unfortunately, it doesn't work that well. So yeah, old school great, new school not so much.
I'm leaning somewhere between nice and entertaining.
I would probably go nice for
Nice.
Taekwondo. Yeah,
I'm down
I
with that.
kind of want to go entertaining just simply because I love the old school and I love the kickers, but I'd probably put it as nice. I may change my mind later. I'm not entirely sure.
That's cool. We'll go through at the end of this and see what needs rearranged.
Yeah.
This next one here is a young Jet Li for just Wushu. So I've got a handful. I see a handful. I think I've got like three specific styles that I think are prominent enough to talk about. But
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
rest of the Wushu is just sort of kung fu, just the general kung fu. I mean, I feel like it's got to be jaw dropping because the best martial arts movies are kung fu movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, wushu is really interesting, and that I don't. I'm gonna sound controversial here. I don't care for it as a martial art
Mhm.
in reality. I get it. I get that it's performative and it's
Yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
way closer to dance than it is to martial arts these days. But on screen, it is absolutely wonderful.
Mhm.
Wushu is even if we can take kung fu styles, but if we actually even take actual wushu, which is all Jet Li, right? Jet Li did nothing but
Mhm.
wushu. Vincent
Yeah.
Zhao did wushu. So you've got the Shaolin Temple films from Jet Li. He was using wushu in Once Upon a Time in China. And then you had Vincent Zhao take over the Once Upon a Time in China series, and he was doing wushu. I just think even Wu Jing, he his
Yeah, Wu
style is
Jing with
wuxing.
Fatal Contact
E
and Legendary
exactly.
Assassin and all that stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think aesthetically on the screen, it looks absolutely fantastic because not only does it have a variety, so it has your punches, your kicks, but it also has the acrobatics and the speed.
Mhm.
That's one thing I absolutely love about it. The speed is so crisp and so quick.
Fatal Contact is something I'm glad you just brought up Wu Jing because I did not think of Fatal Contact. If like
Mhm.
you talk about, and I agree with you on I guess the reality and practicality of it, but I do think of Wushu as like the prettier style in movies. You go back to those early Jet Li films, some other
Yeah.
Shaw Brothers stuff. But then if you go to Fatal Contact, it is this crazy blend of like dazzling kicks and
Yeah.
total brutality.
Absolutely, and the great thing about wushu is that it translates from decade to decade. It doesn't get boring, and it stays consistently with the times, and I think that's the best thing about it. Although, admittedly, I don't know the last film I saw with wushu in it. I may have to go back to, yeah, the early 2000s for that, but I think it holds up. And then you have a whole, I guess, subgenre of wushu-based films that are from mainland China that all came out in the like 90s, early 90s, late
Mhm.
80s. And yeah, I think the mainland China focused on the wushu style, and there's a whole bunch of films that you can dive into there. I don't even know half the
I
names
was
of them.
trying to think of the last like handful of good like wushu style movies. And I thought of Wudong with I think
Yeah.
Vincent Zhao. I guess
Hmm.
True
Yeah.
Legend would count there. True Legend is there, which also has a
Yeah.
bit of
True
drunken
True
boxing we'll talk about
Legends.
later.
Yeah,
I
True
also
Legends is an
thought of
interesting one.
Jackie Chan Presents Wushu, which is not terrible if you haven't seen it. It's okay.
I've never seen that. I can throw
It's
my
it's
hands up.
half decent. You're
Okay.
not gonna be like that's the best thing I've ever seen. You're gonna be like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I guess like Shaolin, throw Shaolin in
Yeah,
there.
Shaolin, absolutely. There's some good TV shows as well. The guy who was the Tai Chi master in Ip Man 4, Wu Yu. He
Mhm.
has a few good TV series with him demonstrating some really good wushu. He's got a Chen Zhen TV series where he's doing wushu, and it looks wonderful.
Mhm. So I think we can. I mean, I'm thinking jaw dropping, especially that Wu Jing argument really made me think jaw dropping.
I would agree. I would absolutely say wushu is up there as jaw dropping.
Gotcha. All right, so this next one is weird. It is fictional styles, and I've got a picture of some of the Venoms here from Five Deadly Venoms, because their stuff was for the most part just kind of a bunch of bupkis. I thought of like um Melee Youth, which is the style they made up for Raging Phoenix. And
Okay.
then whatever else you can think of. Just this some movies just make up random styles and throw it out there.
Yeah, I think this one is my wheelhouse. This is the one I absolutely love. I mean, the Venoms are feature, in my opinion, some of the greatest fight scenes of all time, and they like to switch things up. I love the fact that their snake style is not an actual snake style; they made it up.
Right.
Um, the centipede, and we're not just talking about Five Deadly Venoms. Most of their styles, they switch up and kind of just. I guess it's safe to say a lot of the styles from what used to be Peking opera are very much made up, because you could even
Mhm.
say that Jackie Chan's early stuff is made up, right?
Right.
He didn't
The
utilize.
fearless hyena where he's like fighting with emotions and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I think a lot of his stuff is kind of. Don't get me wrong, he did borrow from a number of styles, but I think even if you go back to, why can't I remember the name of the film? Spiritual Kung Fu, the animal styles in that, they might not be dead on. They might be kind of exaggerated in the eyes of Jackie Chan,
Mhm.
or through the eyes of Jackie Chan. So I I think a lot of the old school stuff is kind of just invented styles. I even think that Lau Kar Lung used to do it as well. I know he's a Hung Gar guy, but I think even he used to kind of make up a few things here and there. Is his
Right.
monkey kung fu in Mad Monkey Kung Fu legit?
Mhm.
I don't think so.
Right.
You know, um, and then when you get to fights like the wine drinking fight in Dirty Ho and things
That was
like
a good
that,
one.
I mean, you can't go wrong with stuff like that. So really, I'm biased slightly because this is my origin story.
I mean, I get
Um,
it because I mean, there's no restraints.
exactly,
You can do
exactly,
whatever you want to make something as entertaining as possible. So
exactly.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going jaw dropping. I'll
For
agree.
me, absolutely, 100%.
Love when people just make something up and throw it on screen.
Love it.
This next one I've got is that David Chang from Shaolin Mantis
Yep.
for Mantis style. I feel like there's enough Mantis out there in movies that we could comfortably just take out Mantis on its own.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'll just make a very general statement here. Mantis Kung Fu is my favorite style.
It's very good.
I love Mantis more than anything. Just there's a combination of things why I like it. Firstly, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. The hooked hands
Yeah.
and
I love like
how
there's like a constant motion that they're like bouncing with. I love it.
exactly, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I love that the concept is to like hook people's arms, and I like that it's so fast and quick. And it's
Mhm.
been, like you mentioned, it's been kind of on its own in films and in some great films as well. Shaolin Mantis, absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
Warriors 2, we got Fung Hak On at the end doing
Mhm.
Mantis. Absolutely amazing. And then even
I've got martial arts of Shaolin.
that was the one I was about
The
to,
final
yeah.
fight of that, yeah. The final
Uh,
fight is Yu Hai and Jet Li using Mantis against the bad guy.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you know, you've probably seen this film. A lot of people have kind of overlooked it. There's a film called Champions
Yeah.
from, oh, you own it? From like what, 2010 is that film?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yes, champions.
It's not great, but there's a really, really good Mantis fight in that.
There's also a great Mantis fight in Bushido Man.
There is, yes, an excellent Mantis. I actually posted that on Instagram about 2 weeks ago. I love that Mantis fight. So I love Mantis. It's my favorite animal style. I love just I love how it is generated from the mantis's movements and the mantis's shape. I just think it works really, really well. And I like that it can also be kind of varied. For example, Dance of the Drunken Mantis. There's a drunken boxing mantis, and
Mhm.
it's amazing. It looks fantastic. So I think for me, or I guess we're focusing on northern mantis as well, right? The hooked hands, because southern
I suppose so.
mantis,
That's what I think of when I think of Mantis.
yeah, Southern Mantis is entirely different, although I do love that too. So I think for me, Northern Mantis is, yeah, it's top tier. It's my favorite style, so I can't really say anything
I'm
bad
down with that.
about it.
Anytime I see it, it's super entertaining. This next one here is obvious. I've picked Eddie Gordo. Again, I'm a Tekken boy, but also I feel like Eddie Gordo did for capoeira what Ong Bak did for Muay Thai. Uh,
Yeah,
that is yeah. So capoeira, which I mean, there's not I've got two examples written down here. Anything Lateef Crowder is in, and
Yeah.
Only the Strong.
Yeah, there's not much beyond that, right? I think Lateef Crowder was the kind of king of capoeira for a long time.
You can throw in
Was that
Maurice Crump if you want to, but he's not done a whole lot that I would recommend watching.
yeah, who was the original fighter in The Protector? Was that Maurice Crump?
Yeah, that was Maurice Crump.
When they're fighting in the water?
Yeah,
That's Maurice Crump, right? Um
and
yeah,
he's also the main stunt double for the Mandalorian. And in the season finale, he throws some wheel kicks. And just the idea of Lateef Crowder being in the Mandalorian costume throwing wheel kicks made me giddy.
yeah, I love that. I love that visually the style is really poetic and really
Mhm.
beautiful to look at. Um, I don't think it's a style that can be used in many films, because I don't think it has a lot of versatility. Um, but whenever I see it on screen, I kind of love it in a way. I haven't seen Only the Strong in years, though. I haven't seen that in decades.
I've
Yeah,
never seen
I
it.
you've never seen it?
Never seen it. Only the Strong.
I need to revisit it one. Hopefully, it'll get a decent Blu-ray release. Although it may have one, I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, capoeira to me is it's cool. It's just limited, or I
Mhm.
feel like it's limited. I don't think anyone's made a truly put it this way. I don't think anyone's made the on back of capoeira.
I think Only the Strong could have been possibly that. I've not seen it. There is a movie called The Assailant
Mm,
that is not good. I think
okay,
it's a Brazilian movie. It's like a biopic essentially. It's an
okay.
action biopic in the vein of like an If Man, I guess, about like a big folk hero in Brazil for capoeira, and that movie is not good.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think Only the Strong may be the definitive capoeira movie, but I also think, dare I say, that might be. I won't say it's dated, but it came out at a time when martial arts weren't as popular as say like when Ong Bak came out. When Ong
Mhm.
Bak came out, it exploded. I think when Only the Strong came out, there wasn't necessarily a capoeira explosion,
Mhm.
even though it's obviously the definitive capoeira film.
Yeah.
So
But anytime, like any, any of the Lateef Crowder spots from The Protector, even to the Tekken movie, to the incredible fight scene against Scott Adkins Undisputed 3, his
yeah.
his halfway decent stuff in Falcon Rising. The biggest crime of the Michael Jai White film Falcon Rising is that the final fight is not just Michael Jai White versus Lateef Crowder. It's Michael Jai White versus Lateef and like two other dudes. And it's like, take the other two guys out, they're the final fight. And they
Yeah,
didn't do that.
I haven't seen Falcon Rising in a while. Is that the one where at the end he gets the pipes and kind of turns them into tonfa or nightsticks?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I remember not loving that film, but I did enjoy the action in it. Um, yeah, Lateef Crowder, Maurice Crump should have been should have been a superstar, to be honest. And I think Panna Ritchie was working on a film with him at some point, or
I wouldn't
planning on
doubt
a
it.
film with him. Yeah, or there's like
He was
this
his like number three guy. Like it's Tony Jaa, Dan Chupong, and Maurice Crump.
exactly. There's like a proof of concept video on YouTube, which is just Maurice Crump showing off some moves in the rain. It's
Mhm.
really, really cool. But nothing came of it, unfortunately. But I don't know where I'd put capoeira. Where'd you think?
I think, I mean, I think entertaining is probably where you got to go because it is always entertaining to see. There's just not been, that, like you said, I
True.
guess a definitive capoeira movie. But anytime you see it, at least when it's like shot super well, it's super entertaining.
Yeah, true. Yeah, okay. I'm fine with it being entertaining.
All right. Moving on to our next guy here. I've got a picture of Tiger Chen from the movie Man of Tai Chi because we are talking about Tai Chi.
Yeah, another style I like. I like Tai Chi. I like how it looks on screen when done right. I think there's some great Tai Chi films. Um, most of them are Tai Chi in the title. Man of Tai Chi, Tai Chi Master, and
Yeah,
Wu Jing's, whatever you want to call it, Tai Chi Boxer or Tai Chi
right.
2, whichever one. Um, yeah, I like it. I'm a big fan of Tai Chi. I think when it's done right, it looks great, and then when it's done wrong, it looks awful. Um, yeah, I think it's just it's a style that I guess it didn't really see much action until the 90s, right? I can't think of many old school films with Tai Chi in it.
Yeah, I thought of the same examples you've got there. Tai Chi Master, of course, Man of Tai Chi I've got here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I think of old school stuff, I think of your standard Mantis, Hungar, Shaolin
Yeah.
Kung Fu, I guess.
Oh, wait, I'm forgetting Drunken Tai Chi with Donnie Yen. That's kind of an
Yep,
old
there you
school
go.
flick. Although the Tai Chi in that film is a little questionable. It's very Yung Wu Ping styled and very very quick and ferocious. I guess Yung Wu Ping though went on to do Tai Chi Master. So yeah, I guess he's a fan of that
The
style because
Matrix.
yeah, if you think about it, all the Tai Chi stuff has all been Yung Wu Ping. Drunken Tai
Yep,
Chi, Tai Chi Master, Tai Chi Boxer with Wu Jing, and Man of Tai Chi.
yep. And then
That's
when
interesting.
I didn't notice it, it's until after watching Man of Tai Chi, and then I see some of the poses that Lawrence Fishburne does in The Matrix, and I'm like, oh, yep, there you go. There's Tiger Chan right there.
Yeah, I think it has some incredibly beautiful kind of poses and stances. I think it looks great. It always looks great on screen. And yeah, again, there's a Wu Jing TV series as well, I believe, just called is it just called Tai Chi or Tai Chi
I believe
Boxer?
I know.
One
Yeah,
of
I
the
think I know
two.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible as well. That's I think that's Yung Wu Ping as well, or the Yung clan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I think it looks great, and I like the fact that they take Tai Chi from the real world, which in reality barely works as a
It's like a
style.
calming
Yeah,
exercise.
exactly. And they make it look amazing. And they often crank it up to 11. You know, Tai Chi Master has some crazy moves.
Mhm.
Um,
I credit Tai Chi Master with being the inventor of airbending.
yeah, yeah,
There's just a dope scene the first time I watched it. You know, I grew up with Avatar: The Last Airbender, and there's a scene when he's like discovering Tai Chi, and
yes.
he like just starts doing a bunch of circular motion, and suddenly there's just like a ball of air and leaves, and I'm like,
Oh,
he is
yeah.
airbending.
Yes, yes, that's great. And he even does, if I remember correctly, water bending in the giant pot, right?
Yeah,
And he's swirling the water. It doesn't I could be wrong here, and my memory is pretty foggy for this film. Isn't there a girl in Shaolin Soccer that does Tai Chi with the dough? Doesn't she make dough
probably. I don't
balls?
remember.
I can't remember if it's Shaolin Soccer or Kung Fu Hustle. I think it's
It
Shaolin
would have been
Soccer though.
Shaolin Soccer there because it does not in Kung Fu Hustle.
Okay, there you go. I'm pretty sure it's in Shaolin Soccer. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Tai Chi. I think it looks great when done right. It's just one of those styles that looks beautiful when sped up, and it
Mhm.
just yeah, it's great, and it adds to wire work. It just works with wire work as
Right.
well.
So you're going jaw dropping on Tai Chi.
I think so. I think so.
Gotcha. This next one here, I've got a picture of Hoist Gracie for just Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. What are your feelings on Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in movies?
I'll be honest with you. This one is going to be a tough one because I genuinely haven't seen many movies with BJJ in it.
The only things I could really think of are like some John Wick scenes. There's the good exchange between him and Common. There's some good stuff,
Yes.
and and the Redeemer, which the Redeemer is I think the
Okay.
one that maybe captured it the best because it's an easy style to make look boring. It's just like mixed martial arts, which we'll get into later, and I guess boxing kind of. It's if you just if you try to do fully authentic Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's gonna look boring. And that comes
Yeah.
from a fan, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, there's a reason why in the early days of UFC, whenever it would go to the ground, people booed. Like
Yeah.
it's not the most entertaining thing to watch if you don't know what you're watching.
It's not. It's not. Is there BJJ in the Never Back Down films, or is that more just
I
MMA?
mean, it's mixed martial arts, so there's some BJJ in
Okay.
there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it in the John Wick films, and I'll be the first to admit when it goes to the ground in John Wick films, I'm not always that impressed. I don't think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is pleasing to the eye. I think conceptually, and if you want to say scientifically, if you can break it down in your head and know exactly what each person's doing, and oh,
Mhm.
he's putting his arm here to prevent this, and then he can put the choke in and blah blah blah. If you can do that, then wonderful. But I think the layman watching
Mhm.
BJJ, I don't think it's that really aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. Like I said, the best one is Redeemer. There's a great fight in Redeemer where everything is very exaggerated and they exaggerated it in all the right ways.
Right.
It's a pretty perfect fight scene, but it's really the only one that I'm like, that one's the one that's like great.
Is that
So
the
I would what up?
is Redeemer the Marco Zaror film?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen
yeah.
it.
So I would go nice with this one because it's aesthetically difficult to work with, but there has been one or two that have done a good job.
I'm definitely willing to go with where you want to go. Nice is fine. Yes, I'll agree.
So far, stand at the bottom two, and I don't think we're going there for the next one, and that is Hungar.
Another style I love. I'm a traditional guy at heart. I love
I'm a
all
Lau
the
Kar
kung
Lung
fu
guy,
styles.
so
Yeah, I mean you've got to be right. You can't argue against his talent, and some of the hungar he's put in films over the years is truly beautiful. Even is it the opening of Disciples of Shaolin that has Alexander Fusheng doing the hungar
yes.
moves. Even that, what is it, like a 2-minute opening credit
Mm,
scene? Still looks stunning. It looks absolutely wonderful. And I don't think anyone's ever done it better than Lau Kar Lung. Someone came close, and that was Sammo Hung in The Magnificent Butcher.
mm,
Um, I think he came very close with doing truly amazing hungar, but I think he added his own spin on it, so it looked slightly less traditional. But yeah, I mean, Martial Club, final fight scene in Martial
yeah,
Club.
lots of. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally thought you were talking about the YouTube channel. Well, they've done some good Hungar too.
True,
Yeah, no,
true.
that final fight scene in Martial Club is one that any kung fu fan will jump to. It's a perfect classic fight scene. Just the entirety of Martial Club is just all gorgeous Hungar.
Yeah, they throw in some nice stuff, and even if I'm remembering correctly, I think we might even see some hungar in Shang-Chi. I think I recall Tony Lung throwing
Yeah,
some hungar in that.
yes, and then of course the Pigpen Alley fight scene in um Sha- Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, that's Chu Chi Ling, right? Chu Chi Ling is just
Yeah,
a grandmaster of
the
hungar, and
Taylor.
yeah, he's incredible in a lot of fight scenes. Um, yeah, and I think Hungar kind of breeds an interesting culture as well. I don't know if you've seen it, but Mark Houghton's documentary, I am the White Tiger? I don't know if
I
you've
have
seen that.
not.
Mark Houghton is the last remaining disciple of Lau Kar Lung, and he's actually from the and it's just how he became to be Lau Kar Lung's disciple, and he starred in a whole bunch of kung fu films as well. And it's just really, really interesting
Hmm.
how he came to be. Um, yeah, Hungar, beautiful, beautiful style, strong too, strong.
And I mean, I guess we're going jaw dropping on this, but it's hard not to when there's like every Hungar movie almost you think of is by one dude because he just kept doing it so perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever seen I think his name's Shafir Bey? Have you seen him on YouTube?
I have not.
He's been in a few fight scenes from the Art School Dropouts, and he does
Is
Hungar.
it the black dude?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I've seen his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he does some wonderful looking Hungar. So yeah, I'm all over it. I love Hungar.
All right, so we'll do this one more here, and then we'll restart because we're almost out of time on this meeting here. But I've got Tom Hardy from Warrior for MMA, mixed martial arts.
Um, I'll put it simple for MMA. I think it's fantastic, and I think people love it. And I think with its increasing popularity, people love to see it on screen. For me, I'm more of a flowery, over the top, beautiful movement style kind of guy. So
Mm,
MMA for me is I get it and I get the point of it and I understand it's very to the point, but it doesn't always look great to me, but then I do love Warrior. So
As much as Warrior is a great movie, the fight scenes are not the best part of it.
no.
There is a good Korean film called Fists of Legend, not Fist of Legend, but pluralize that Fists of Legend. If you've seen it, it's very, very good.
Yeah, I
That's a
didn't
mixed
see that
martial
one.
arts film. I recommend it. I picked up a Blu-ray to replace my DVD somewhere here behind me.
Nice.
Yeah, Fists of Legend. It's a
Yeah.
good one. I liked it a lot. But again, here, this is one like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu where the best way to make it look good is to exaggerate it. And that is where I go to Donnie Yen.
That's all right. It's just about to go. You can't argue with Flashpoint, right?
Flashpoint, Special ID is great. Again, we could have gone to Special
Oh
ID for
yeah.
Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
SPL has a good bit, but
Absolutely.
as much as like, I don't like Never Back Down. I got to go to Donnie Yen whenever I think of good MMA. And again, I think this goes with Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Nice because it's one that can be done right. Again, Donnie Yen with exaggeration,
Yeah.
but
That's
if
a
you just do it naturally, it's not going to be very appealing.
absolutely couldn't agree with you more. When it's heightened and made to look good, it's fantastic. But when it's not, it's not. So yeah, nice. I'm good with nice.
Yeah. This next one here is boxing, and I've got Rocky and Clubber Lang here.
Right. I pity the fool.
Of course, it's great in the early Rocky fight scenes are a bit dated, and the Creed movies are excellent. And then
Yeah.
there's more dramatic takes like Raging Bull or I guess Cinderella Man. Any other solid boxing ideas you got?
Well, I have to talk about the upcoming TV series that's hitting Netflix, I think in June. I think it's a Korean series. Yeah, Korean called Bloodhounds.
Mhm.
If you have not seen the trailer for that,
I
please,
have,
please,
yeah.
please watch it. Yeah, because it's just two guys and their main martial art style is straight up boxing. Nothing but boxing. No kicks, no grapples, nothing. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks brutal and it looks like they finally nailed it so that a martial arts film, or in this case, a series, can be
Mhm.
made about boxing that isn't in the boxing ring.
There's some
Which
decent boxing in Takashi Miike's First Love.
Oh yeah, yeah, there is. Yeah, I
It's
like that
mostly just
film.
like some random punches. There's not a lot of action in it, but it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, and if you want to go old school, if I remember correctly, doesn't Beardy have a boxing fight in Legend of the Fighter? I think it's not great. I remember it not being great, but I remember it being there. Um, Boxing is interesting to me because I think it's one of those fighting styles that you really have to breathe fresh life into
Mhm.
every time you do it. Otherwise, it looks the same and looks
I think
because
the Creed movies do a fantastic job of that.
Michael B. Jordan. I don't know how he did what he did in Creed 3, but it looks absolutely incredible. He
Mhm.
really made boxing look fresh. And if you want to look at something that doesn't make boxing look fresh, that would be Ip Man 2.
Yeah.
I don't think is it Twister? Rest in
Yep.
peace.
Darren Chalavi.
Yeah. I don't think that looks great at the end. I think the trouble is putting it against Wing Chun also doesn't look great. But you really have to do something special with boxing to make it seem fresh and new. And personally, I like it, but I'm not getting excited when
Mhm.
someone tells me that there's a brand new boxing film out.
Right.
Unless it really, if I watch a trailer and it looks unbelievable, then yeah, sure. But otherwise, if someone's just saying, "Oh, it's a boxing movie," take Bloodhounds for example. If someone would just tell me it's a boxing TV series, I wouldn't have even looked it up.
Mhm. What was I just thinking of? Have you seen the movie Bunraku?
No, I haven't. Oh, have I? I get it. I
It
always get it mixed
stars
up.
the Japanese metal singer Gakt, Woody Harrelson, Ron Perlman, and the main star in it was like a big heartthrob in the early 2000s. Uh, it's about a cowboy, a samurai, and a barkeep in a
Yeah.
very comic booky kind of world. Of course, the samurai is a samurai, and the cowboy is a bit of a boxer, and he has a decent little fight with another kind of cowboy boxer in it. It's half decent. It's nothing great. It's a fun movie to watch. I recommend watching it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Larnell Stovall did the action for it. I think.
he may have. That would honestly make a lot of sense.
Why do I get confused between Bunraku and then that film with Josh Hartnett in when he plays like a wandering
Josh
swordsman?
Hartnett is the dude in Bunraku.
Wait, so I have seen Bunraku.
Maybe.
Oh, then maybe I have. I'm getting confused between multiple films. I'm pretty sure. But maybe I have seen it. But if I have, I don't remember it.
So where are you feeling with boxing here? I'm there. The problem is I mean, I guess it goes with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts, but there's been some really good boxing, but then it can also go really, really wrong.
Yeah, for me, I think the way I'm going about it is I'm going off my levels of excitement when it comes to boxing. And honestly, for me, that would be lower. I'd even go as far as to say
Mm.
that would be all right for me.
I'm kind of cool with that, but like like you said, when you can get excited, I didn't see Creed 2. I saw the first
Okay.
one, loved it. I had seen all the Rocky movies before throughout the years.
Yeah.
For some reason, had zero interest in Creed 2. The trailers
Really
for
good.
Creed 3, the trailer for Creed 3 got me hyped. So I watched Creed 2, was like, oh, that was really good, and then went
Yeah.
and saw Creed 3.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I hadn't watched Creed 2, and then I think I watched Creed 2 one week, and then the week after I watched Creed 3.
Mhm.
So yeah, when it's done right, it's done right, but I think it very rarely is done right.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and I'm cool with putting that in all right. Before we move on, I forgot about this movie. This is a mixed martial arts movie starring Eddie Pang, a couple other people, Andy On, called Unbeatable.
Oh yeah, I've
Um,
heard of it. I haven't seen
don't waste your time.
it.
This sat on my shelf. So not even sat on my shelf. This sat on like my Amazon wish list for years. Finally got it for Christmas one year,
Yeah.
and then it sat on my shelf for like another year and a half, 2 years, and then I finally was like, I need to watch this. I got so excited to watch this. Garbage,
Whatever
butthole
happened to
garbage.
what happened to Eddie Pang? He was hot
He
for a
was
moment. He was doing
was he?
good
He was in
stuff.
like the what is it? Rise of the Legend or whatever.
Yeah, and Call of Heroes.
Yeah, I have. That's a good question. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe he said something and pissed somebody off.
Yeah, he was meant to be Sammo Hung's disciple. Like he was meant to be the guy that Sammo Hung was shaping to be the next big thing, but he just fell off and disappeared.
Yeah, that's I've generally not thought of him till now, and that's a great question. So this next one here is, and I know people are going to be like, there's a lot of different forms of karate, but look, karate, I'm just going to put it all in one thing, karate. I've got Sonny Chiba here from Street Fighter. What are your thoughts on karate in cinema?
To be honest, I'm a big fan of it. I like karate. When it's done well, I'll be the first to say, not the biggest Sonny Chiba fan. Um,
I was about to say, I don't know if was it, did you see uh Eric Jacobus's interview? I can't remember who it was. I think it was it Kenji Tanigaki was talking about the difference between Sonny Chiba action and Yasuaki Karada action.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm fully in the Karada camp. I'm not in the Sonny Chiba camp.
Yeah,
You know,
Sonny Chiba has never worked for me. I must admit, for some bizarre reason, I love the sister Street Fighter movies, but I don't love the Street Fighter movies. I actually prefer Etsuko Shihomi to Sonny Chiba, but she's doing karate as well, so I do love it. And
mhm.
you've got two really, really good karate films that people don't really speak about much. Fighter in the Wind
Mhm.
and Black
I've
Belt.
not seen Black Fighter in the Wind, but it's been on my list for many years. I want to watch it so badly.
It needs to get a decent Blu-ray release because I think I have some shoddy DVD of it somewhere. But it's really, really good, and I love that they really focused on proper karate for that, and it looks fantastic. But I've always been a fan. I like how one thing that karate has that other styles don't have. It looks so powerful. It looks like it hurts when
Mhm.
people get hit, and I really, really like that. Even in
I think of like the bad guy in Legend of the Fist: Return of Tenzin with Donnie Yen. Donnie
yeah,
Yen takes some kicks in that look devastating.
yeah. I mean, even oh, why have I forgotten his name? Is it Chris Collins in Ip Man 4?
Yes.
Yeah, even he looks absolutely great in that film. When doing like when he's like kicking the shit out of people. It looks absolutely amazing. Obviously, Donnie Yen steps forward and beats the hell out of him. But before that, it looks really, really good. A
Mhm.
big fan of karate. And if you haven't seen the I'm speaking to everyone. If you haven't watched Vlad Rimberg's Osu series on YouTube,
I have
find
not.
them. I think there's 3 or 4 of them, and they are just straight up karate fights, and they are amazing, absolutely amazing. The best karate you will ever see.
Mhm. Yeah,
Really good stuff.
I go so I also I knew we would stick on guys like Karada and Chiba for this, but I also figured, I guess you got to throw in like Michael Jai White. And I know he's not doing fully karate in like Blood and Bone, but I'd say he does karate a good service in Never Back Down 3.
Okay, I've never seen any of the Never Back Down, so I'm not
I
entirely sure.
recommend the third one. I
Really?
truly
Okay.
I hate the first one.
Okay.
I strongly dislike the second one.
All right.
Although there is some really cool training moments with Michael Jai White. He's like the teacher in it. There's a beautiful moment where Evan Peters from fucking now he's famous for Dahmer and all this other stuff. But he like throws a kick at this bag and like he brags over how far the bag went. He pushed it so far with his kick. And Michael Jai White throws one kick, snaps his leg real fast, and it punctures the bag and sand starts pouring out. And he says, "Would
Nice.
you rather push your opponent or finish your opponent?" And I'm
Nice. I
like,
love
that was so fucking cool.
I love stuff like that. Does the third one have a Jija Yanin cameo?
Third one
Is
does
that
have a Zhizha Yanin cameo,
okay?
as well
Okay.
as the dude she beats up is Scott Adkins' stunt double in. He's the bad guy in Undisputed 4.
Undisputed 4, the big guy?
Not the big guy, but the dude who thinks he's hot shit.
Oh yeah,
And
I
then
don't
he
know his
beats
name.
that guy. Yeah, I follow him on Instagram and shit.
Yeah.
But he beats that guy, and then Nathan, like was it Nathan? I don't know. The big guy comes out,
Yeah.
Martin Ford.
Martin Ford. Yeah.
But yeah, the Never Back Down 300%. It's the same. He plays the same character as his dude from the second one.
Yeah.
Totally don't need to watch it. Just watch
Okay.
the third one. I love the third one.
Now I'm looking at the pictures you have at the bottom. Is the one with the stick? Is that Kali or is that Kenpo?
That is Kali. I took out Kempo.
Okay, so you've got to talk about the perfect weapon then, if you're talking about karate as well, right? Because it's
Okay,
Kenpo karate.
yeah. So I thought about this as well. Yeah.
I just bought that film last week. It's ridiculous. I bought the film on Blu-ray last week, and then they just announced that they're putting out a better version of the Blu-ray last week, about 2 days after I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
But Perfect Weapon, Jeff Speakman, mwah, that's a good film, a damn good film. And the karate looks absolutely great in it. It looks wonderful. It's a really, really good, what is it, early 90s
Yeah,
karate
early
film.
90s.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of karate. Yasuaki Karata, I assume is using karate in Face of Legend.
Millionaires Express and all that stuff. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Fist of Legend
Eastern
when he fights.
Heroes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, pulling out the crab style. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. It's one of my favorite styles, and I think in terms of Japanese fighting styles, it may be the best in my eyes.
All right, so I get we're going jaw dropping on that, I suppose. Which I've
Yeah,
got it.
I
I'm not
think
gonna
so.
lie, is not where I thought that would go.
Really
Um,
interesting.
See, but what it is once you break down all the stuff that is good, and I do like, it is up there. But once you go to the Sonny Chiba stuff, I apologize to the Sonny Chiba fans. I know you love your Street Fighter and everything. I know you're big Tarantino fans, and Tarantino loves Sonny Chiba, so you love Sonny Chiba too.
Yeah.
Just not for me, really. And then of course you can't talk about karate, of course, without just talking about like Karate Kid and Cobra Kai.
Yeah, good point. Actually, yeah, never even thought those. Even though the films and the show was called Karate Kid, it never even popped into my mind.
I do like Cobra Kai. Not a big Karate Kid fan though. Don't know why.
Oh, I'm a fan
So
of the first Karate Kid.
yeah, the first one's fun. I've got here, and I know that the style of samurai films is very varied, but I threw in Kendo, sort of just as like general samurai bushido kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And I've got Yojimbo here for the picture on that.
Yeah, this one's a really interesting one because I think out of all the styles we have listed here, nothing is more artistic as
Mhm.
samurai stuff. I mean, it's featured obviously in some of the greatest samurai films, or what some might call the greatest martial arts films of all time, like Seven Samurai, Yojimbo.
Hidden
Yeah,
Fortress, all that stuff.
exactly, exactly. I recently got into old Japanese cinema. I am definitely new to it. But what I've seen, I absolutely love. The fight scenes aren't always long, but they are like brutal, swift, and very stylish. And I'm a big fan of it. And I think samurai style or Bushido style again will stand the test of time. I think they'll always stand the test of time. And hey, if you pick a style that can make Tom Cruise look good, then you know
True. It even lends into, Star Wars: A New Hope. That fight scene between Vader and Alec Guinness is all kendo.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think it works in and there's loads of samurai films, modern ones as well. 13 Assassins is
Hmm.
absolutely wonderful. Um Blade of the Immortal, that's cool as well.
Yeah.
And I love how Kendo can look sloppy, but still look amazing.
Hmm.
I like how the fighters can get really, really tired out and just start swinging their sword randomly, and it just looks great. Now, here's a question: Rurouni Kenshin is that
That honestly could have gone in the made up stuff,
true? Yeah, and that makes the made up stuff even better because
and it's
Rurouni
great.
Kenshin is some good stuff. Um, Yeah, I'm a big fan of samurai cinema. I don't think I've seen enough of it. I'll throw my hands up and say that. I think I
Hmm.
am missing certain films, like I haven't seen Harakiri, or I haven't
I
seen
just recently picked up this collection, and it's DVDs, but I thought the box is so nice I couldn't let it go. It's this right here, Shogun Collection or something.
oh,
It is, and these are ironically all Sonny Chiba films, I think.
okay.
Shogun Samurai, Sword of Vengeance, Shogun's Ninja, and Shogun's Shadow. But I just thought I found this at like a used movie store, and I thought I gotta buy this. I think
Yeah, and I can promise you that at least two of those are fantastic. I think Shogun Shadow, I think I've seen and I absolutely loved. And I
Shogun's
think
Ninja also has Hiroyuki Sanada.
yeah, I think Shogun's Ninja is meant to be amazing as well. I think I have some of them. I don't know what set I've got them on. Maybe one of them or two of them was on that recent Sonny Chiba set that was released by. I'm going to throw out a guess here. Was it Shout Factory? Did they put out the Sonny Chiba set? I
I
think some of
believe
them might be
so.
on there. Um, yeah, I need to watch more Chiba. It's not more Chiba. I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think the Street Fighter films are for me. But I imagine some of his more samurai-based stuff I might love. Yeah, yeah. So samurai stuff I think is a wealth of films that I just haven't delved into enough. But what I have seen, I absolutely love.
So you going entertaining or jaw dropping on this one?
Just because I haven't seen enough of them to really kind of test my knowledge, I would go entertaining.
I would agree, and again, I think like what you said about the most artistic films. Of course,
Yeah.
the work of I'm totally blanking on his name that I'm actually talking about it. Seven Samurai, Hidden
Akira
Fortress, all
Kurosawa.
those. Yes, Kurosawa.
Yeah.
All of those. I mean, he was the king. There's a reason half of '70s Hollywood was inspired by his stuff.
Yeah, and I've probably seen like five of his films now, and they are incredible. Ran, if you get a chance to watch Ran, it
Mhm.
may be the greatest
I've been
samurai
waiting
film.
to get it on Criterion.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. It's long as hell, but it's really, really good.
This next one here is going to be Kali, in which when I think of Kali, I think of this man. So this is Brian Sloyer. I when I think Kali, I immediately go to his YouTube channel. That's what I think of.
Brian Sloyer, in my opinion, maybe top three fight choreographers in the world today.
That may be
Um,
true.
I think his stuff is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. I don't know why he's not. I don't know. In fact, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say I don't know why he's not in Hollywood making countless films. I don't know what he's working on, so I can't possibly
Mhm.
say that. But I think his style is so crisp and so modern and looks incredible. And also, he's a fantastic director. He makes some very
Mhm.
highbrow stuff. But his style is wonderful, whether it is weapons or open handed. I think he he's the best of the best, especially when it comes to Kali. I'm trying to think of other films I've seen with Kali in it.
There is a so I mean you could go to Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee has a Kali scene. Um,
Oh,
there's a
Game
there's
of
a
Death
good
as well,
Kali
right?
fight. Yeah, Game of Death is the one. There's a good Kali fight in the Eric Jacobus film Death Grip.
No,
It's more of a knife. It's a knife fight, but it's a Kali fight.
I've still never seen that film.
It's walk don't run, but you'll enjoy yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I think someone put me off by saying
I
there's not
feel
many
bad
many
saying
fights in
that.
it.
I recently edited a video for Eric Jacobus, so I feel bad saying that.
Oh, it happens. It's fine. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sometimes amazing people make stuff that we don't necessarily love. Eric Jacobus is an absolute goddamn genius.
I love the guy.
Yeah, he knows it. Um, yeah, Carly is an interesting one to me simply because I don't think I've seen enough of it, but what I have seen, I like a lot. But sometimes I think the style is a little bit limited.
It is it's a lot of the same patterns, a lot of the same movements, which I suppose you could give to any say about
Yeah,
any martial art, but
true.
I guess once you apply like the weapons, it is a lot of the same.
Yeah, and also Kali, if you took away the sticks and put in knives or make it empty-handed, I don't think I could go, that's Kali I'm seeing on screen.
Mhm.
I
I
think
can once I start seeing the trapping. I can't remember
okay.
what movie I saw recently. I saw something fairly recently that once I recognized a lot of the ways they were trapping hands and arms and
Hmm.
stuff, I was like, Kali. I don't remember what
Yeah.
movie it was, but I had fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's my own personal problem is that I haven't learned to spot it yet. I'm usually good with most styles, but yeah, I haven't learned to spot Kali that well. So I don't know. I'm on the edge here. I'm on the edge between nice and
Yeah.
entertaining.
Part of my reason for also catching the trapping is from watching all the scenic fight videos.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, as much as I love Brian Slower, I love his stuff. I guess if we're thinking about movies, I'm willing to go nice.
Okay, let's do nice. I'm definitely in agreement with that.
All right. So this next one, Bruce Lee, Jeet Kune Do, which I guess you really mostly think of Bruce Lee for Jeet Kune Do, but then I guess you go to any movie where somebody's playing Bruce Lee or a Bruce Lee inspired role, like I was thinking of Philip Ung in Once Upon a Time in Shanghai,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
it's interesting, really, isn't it? Jikondo is it's questionable as to whether you're actually seeing it on screen or not.
Mhm.
Um, but I think there's actually a film called Jikondo, and I think it's a mainland China film, and it's awful.
I bet.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible, and the fight scenes are pretty weak as well. Um, Jeet Do, I mean, what's there to say? If we go to the father of Jeet Do and talk about Bruce Lee, I mean, his style on film was pretty impeccable. Um, I don't think The Big Boss is very good. I don't care for that film much, but then
I don't know
I
if he really got to do a whole lot of Jeet Kune Do in that. I think
no,
the
he didn't
director in that
choreograph
did
it,
not
right?
like it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
director that was not a Bruce Lee fan.
yeah, yeah. I think it was someone. I think it was the bad guy, right? It was the big boss himself that choreographed
Yeah,
that
yeah,
film.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think. Yeah, and then I think when he got more into his element, and obviously,
He's directing himself.
yeah, Way of the Dragon is a pretty fantastic film and a really really good example of what he could do.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about this one. You either love Bruce Lee or you don't like Bruce Lee. For the longest time, I was in the don't like Bruce Lee camp. Never was a fan of his filmography, and then I rewatched it fairly recently, within the last like I'd say 3 years, and
Mhm.
I stand by saying I was absolutely wrong. I think his filmography is fantastic. Other than obviously Bumpy Road
How
with
about you just like a year, 2 years ago did a huge Bruce exploitation deep dive. How
I
did those
did.
hold up in terms of the fights and the style of Jeet Kune Do in those?
That's really interesting, actually. So, Bruce exploitation films, they are like absolutely hit or miss. So either you'll get an absolute gem that is a fantastic kung fu film and you'll remember for the rest of your life, or you'll have the absolute worst time ever with the film. So I watched, I think in a span of, I think it was 3 months, I watched 50 Bruce exploitation films,
That's a lot.
and yeah, it really did feel like a lot as well. I would say out of that 50, 10 were absolute gems, 10 were fine, and the other 30 were garbage.
Mhm.
And that's for what you see on screen. Sometimes you're getting great stuff and you're getting like Bruce Lee style choreography. A lot of the time you're just getting the made up kung fu style and it's
Mhm.
just glorified kickboxing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Would
it'll
you say that Jet Li in Fist of Legend is leaning towards Jeet Kune Do or glorified kickboxing?
kickboxing, I would say. I would
Yeah,
say
that fight in the like I guess the courtyard fight with
yeah,
um Chin Su Ho,
yeah.
very kickboxy.
And it's very difficult though to define Jeet Kune Do because even Bruce Lee himself like didn't necessarily define it. He just said you
Well,
take what you
he would
want.
say it's not a style, it's a philosophy, but I think if you truly break down the elements of it, it's a style.
Yeah, I guess yeah. And when it comes down to it, there's no way of saying this person's doing Jeet Kune Do and this person isn't because it's difficult. It's difficult to take what Bruce Lee did and then transfer it to film if you weren't a Jeet Kune Do student, and a lot of people weren't. So me, I love Bruce Lee style. I think it's fantastic. I think it's one of the most, dare I say, entertaining
Mhm.
styles that you'll see on screen. In terms of power and speed and all that stuff. I just don't necessarily think many people have carried on that legacy of Bruce and really executed it as well as he did.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel I'm leaning entertaining. Where do
Yeah,
you lean with it?
yeah, definitely entertaining. I would say so.
Entertaining.
Yeah, Bruce was the
All
man.
right. This next one I think is automatically given a minimum of entertaining, and that is drunken boxing.
Uh, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think I will say this. I think drunken boxing has gotten as good as it's ever going to get, and
Yeah,
no
yeah,
one
yeah.
will ever top it. I mean, no one's going to top Drunken Master 2. No one.
I was gonna say I was gonna ask you because I in my uh 5 essential Jackie Chan video
Yeah.
said that Drunken Master 2 is the definitive drunken boxing movie. And I felt like
Hmm.
I was gonna have some indie Hong Kong deep divers disagree with me and go with like a World of Drunken Master or something crazy.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Disagree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to agree with it. I want to say Drunken Master 1 is the greatest Drunken Master or Drunken
Right.
Boxing film of all time, but it's not. Drunken Master 2 is easily the best. I have a soft spot for many of the old school films with drunken boxing in them, just because I'm a 70s guy. By 70s guy, I mean I like the old school kung fu shapes from the 70s. That's my style. That's what I enjoy. But the pinnacle is Drunken Master 2. I mean,
Well, and you could
not
even give it the compliment of you enjoying those movies and saying that Drunken Master 2 is the best one.
yeah,
In that drunken boxing can be perfect. Drunken boxing can be awesome in a shapes format, but
yeah.
that can also be awesome in the 90s fast-paced Jackie Chan style of it.
That's it, right? I think it even works in what's that damn film called? Last Hero in China, the Jet Li film where he's using drunken
Mm.
boxing at the end of that film. I think drunken boxing just works in any era, and I'm pretty sure pretty much every legend of kung fu cinema has done a drunken boxing fight.
Yeah.
I think
Uh
I'm pretty sure.
Vincent Zhao in True Legend. He goes
Yeah,
with the final quarter of that movie is him learning drunken boxing.
exactly. And Donnie Yen does it in Hero Among Heroes when he plays Beggar So. So I think a lot of people have done it, and I don't think anyone's beaten Drunken Master 2. I think
No.
it's impeccable, and well, let's face it, Drunken Master 2 is not only one of the greatest depictions of drunken boxing, many would say it's the greatest kung fu film of all time. Um,
it's yeah, not many people. It's probably it's definitely the top three.
yeah, I mean, you can't argue that the finale of Drunken Master 2, possibly the greatest finale of all time. Finale,
Hmm.
fight scene of all time. Possibly, possibly.
Yeah,
May not be
can't
my
argue that.
favorite, but it's definitely up there. So Drunken Boxing is just so damn entertaining. And then you get things like you can use Drunken Monkey and Drunken Mantis
Mhm.
and Drunken this and Drunken that. It's versatile. It looks amazing. Sometimes it's hilarious. Yeah, it's up there as one of the best.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. It's pretty
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of Judo Jean LaBelle hugging Ronda Rousey here, and that's just because it's wholesome. This is judo,
All
which so
right.
the two things I think of for judo are John Wick films and Joe Toslam.
Yeah, I've learned to love judo. I really have learned to love judo. I think it's a wonderful style, and I think it really works well on camera because it always not always, but it often results in someone getting tossed over and just looking like it really hurts.
Mhm.
It looks like bone crunching and it looks painful because people are getting flipped and tossed and spun. And I really, really like that. I love that it doesn't necessarily take a huge fighter to use judo. I think it works for
Right.
Keanu Reeves amazingly. Um, and even the old school stuff looks good. I mean, even if you take, I'm not going to remember what film this is from because I always get confused between the two. But even if you take Sammo Hung versus Michelle Yeoh in is it Twinkle
Yeah,
Twinkle
yeah.
or
That
My
was Twinkle
Lucky?
Twinkle.
Twinkle
Yep.
Twinkle. Even if you take that, what, 20-second fight scene? It's amazing. Judo looks amazing. It looked amazing back then. It looks amazing today. And I think also judo has the potential to really go on to be something wonderful.
I agree. I love the stuff in the John Wick films. I love the judo in and it's crazy in The Night Comes for Us.
Oh yeah.
Is Joe Toslam is a judo guy. He's a national judo
Yep.
competitor in his younger days. The way they use judo in The Night Comes for Us, that final fight against Iko Uwais, like
Yep.
I I love that it looks cool because he's not executing it properly. It's messy because he's in this crazy blood curdling fight
Yep.
and he's getting hit and he's just trying to grab for stuff and he's willing to throw whatever he can get
Yeah.
and it looks good.
It's when it looks good, it looks fantastic. Also, I have to say, if I could practice any martial arts style right now, I'd choose judo.
Judo's fun. I've in just going to some of my martial arts stuff, they'll just be like, "Hey, we're just gonna teach you this judo throw today." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fun.
I just wanna toss a motherfucker.
It, dude. When you, I've thrown one or two people around that are bigger than me just because of leverage, and it got to tell you, it makes you feel good.
Right,
Uh,
right.
where you go with judo here?
Oh. I'll go okay, I'll say this. I'll say right now, it's entertaining. It
Hmm.
has the potential to be jaw-dropping, it just hasn't quite got there yet.
I think I can get on with that.
Yeah.
This next one here, the Raid 2 Silat, Penchak Silat. I think when I think there's a core group of guys who do it perfectly, make it jaw
Yep,
dropping,
yep.
and then everybody else doing it maybe just doesn't capture it very well because I think of movies like Silat Warrior and I'm like, I don't care about you.
Yeah, for me, this is the hardest one out of the bunch. Because the Raid 2, and The Night Comes for Us absolutely
Marin
shine with
Tao.
Silat. And Morantau, yeah, exactly. They all look absolutely stunning and flawless and feature what can be argued as some of the best fight scenes of all time. But when you get people who can't do it or aren't as good as Gareth Evans or Iko Uwais in terms of style and choreography, then you don't get good films. You get some questionable choreography. I haven't seen like, is it Gundala? Does that feature Silat?
Gundala, yeah, a little bit, a little
Okay,
bit. It's not bad.
okay.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but yeah, again, it has the potential to be absolutely magic. I also wonder whether we've seen the extent of what Silat can do.
Right. If we've
Um,
have we seen the best?
Yeah, I think we've seen the best. I mean, even I would even say after the raid and the raid 2, even when Eco went on to do Headshot, his stuff in Headshot wasn't as good. as the Raid and the Raid 2. But that could be Gareth
Mhm.
Evans, right? Could be his say on that.
Right.
Yeah, to keep this one simple, I'd say entertaining, but I
I
wouldn't
think so.
quite say jaw dropping. Although it
I think
has
I think
been jaw
it's
dropping.
I think it's currently in a down
Yeah,
in a bit of a down beat right now. Similar to like where Muay Thai has gotten to,
yeah,
it's slowly turning that corner. Unless Eco or any of those guys, Yayan, Chechup, come out with something crazy in the next few years, that's kind of the direction it's at right now. But Chechup
they,
seems to be doing stuff in other countries. Like he's doing a lot of like stunts and co-starring roles in other countries.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm just waiting for that
yeah.
Expendables 4 trailer.
I saw. I know we're running out of time here. There was a trailer slash flash mob thing for some movie called like Three or something. Chechup had gotten a bunch of C-Lot people to do like a C-Lot flash mob, and it was supposed to be like an announcement for a movie. And I don't know
Hmm.
what the hell happened to that.
Who knows where these films go?
So these next two we'll probably try to get through pretty quick because we're running out of time on this one too. And
Yeah,
I've got Aikido here. Of course, I've got Steven Seagal. Sorry, I didn't pick the best picture of him. Also, not sorry. Fucking hate that guy.
I'll keep this as simple as possible. When you first told me Aikido was involved, I was just like, well, it's depicted the best in the young master. Then I realized that was Hapkido. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say Aikido in Seagal's first 3 films or whatever, his 3 classics, great. Otherwise, I haven't seen it in anything apart from Seagal films, and they're all trash. So,
Yeah, I just think it looks like it looks it's a jumbled mess. I don't think there's any way to capture it very well or
nope.
properly. Uh, his best movies are not the best because of him. They're the best because of other people, I think.
Yep.
Uh,
Lots of slap hands. No good.
I'm willing to throw this in no thank you because I don't
Yeah.
care for Aikido.
Until someone brings out a new Aikido film and impresses me, yeah, no thank you.
Yeah. So how about Wing Chun? I know this one's complicated. It's such short time to talk about Wing Chun, but I know your feelings
Uh,
on it.
I could talk about this for honestly an hour. Wing Chun is fantastic. It looks wonderful on screen. It's looked fantastic for absolute years and years. It just has gotten tired. No
I
one wants to
agree.
see it anymore. It's been done to death. It's the fact that Donnie Yen's doing an Ip Man 5 is mind melting.
I'm so confused.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever, and it's been amazing. Donnie can still do it, and I hope he picks a good choreographer for Ip Man 5. I hope we get Kenji Tanigaki because I believe he
Mhm.
can breathe a fresh breath of air into Wing Chun. Otherwise, it's just we're all sick of it. We've seen it. We've seen a million Ip Man films. We've seen Ip Man in
Yeah,
space. We've
and
seen it.
it's not the most diverse style to
Nope.
use. Every young if every If Man mainland China film or whatever is the exact same. They
Yeah.
look the exact same.
Yeah.
It's fun when used in little spurts in other movies like Shaolin or something, but as much as I love all 4 Ip Man movies, all the other stuff has really diminished it.
Yeah. With that said, we did get Warriors 2 and Prodigal Son, which are
That
wonderful.
stuff
So
back then, yes. If you go
with
back to that stuff, then it's like incredible.
exactly. With that alone, I would put it in entertaining, but it's very close to just being nice these days.
Yeah, I'm willing to throw it in nice. I don't know
Okay.
if we're gonna have time to do what we normally do and run through all these and see what needs to be moved around. So how do you feel about this? Feeling positive?
Do you know what? The only one I would think on moving is I would move Taekwondo into entertaining. That's the only one that I felt bad about because the old school stuff was so good.
I'm cool with that. So
Okay.
we got a little under a minute here, Sean. Where can we find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, foo_for_thought. You can search on all good podcast platforms for Foo for Thought. And I also have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/Foo for Thought, where you can give me a little bit of money each month and you get a free extra episode, some videos, all that good stuff.
I'm on the Patreon and I like it. I think there's some good stuff on there. I'm also on Patreon trying to get some stuff up there. Got some merch. Sean's wearing it. I'm wearing it. Thank you, Sean, for wearing the merch.
No problem.
Yeah. I'm Martial Arts Film Freak on Instagram, Facebook, Tristan_Glover on the Twitter, Martial Arts Film Freak on TikTok. On behalf of Sean, sorry we're wrapping this so short.
It's all good.
Zoom's a bitch. Thank you all so much for watching and have a good day.